Alright, it is Christmas Eve, and today we are going to try out the WoodGas camp stove. And this is a wood gasifier camp stove. It uses a little bit different kind of technology. There's some electronics and a fan and batteries involved, which is an issue if you're worried that your batteries might fail in a long-term situation or whatever. But certainly this particular solution for, cheap energy and cooking needs is a lot lighter than the rocket stove we showed last time. If it's a pound and a half, I'd be surprised. It's probably, between a pound and 2 pounds, somewhere in there. So it's a lot lighter than the 15-pound rocket stove. And it, uses a fan in the bottom. There's these little holes in the bottom here are going to be a draw for the fan. The fan is going to blow air up through this inner chamber in the wall of the gasifier, and there are some holes along the bottom of the combustion chamber and some holes along the top. And my understanding is that the fan blowing the air on the inside of these two walls is going to create a little bit of draw on the holes down here. It's going to suck some of the wood gas, or the methane, which is being released from the combustion process. And it's going to heat it up in this inner wall, and then it's going to spit it out here in these top little burners, and where it's actually going to be burnt. So you're going to, in theory, you should have a lot better energy output from the same amount of fuel. So here we have our same sugar bag that we're going to use as tinder. It's slightly wet, so we might have a little bit more might have a few more difficulties in getting this started than we did the rocket stove. This was set out here for the 2 days since the rocket stove experiment. It's a little moist, but hopefully it'll be fine. So, all right. All right. Well, I don't know if conditions are simply different now. I don't know if conditions are simply different now than they were, say, 2 days ago. Maybe my paper was drier. Certainly this time the paper was moist. Not all of it, but some of it. And, the twigs have been rained on and snowed on, and maybe things are just more wet, and that's the problem we're having here. But we are like 8 minutes into, almost 10 minutes maybe even, since I first had ignition on the wood gasifier, and I don't have any visible flame that I can see, but I am getting a ton of smoke. And I don't remember the rocket stove doing this. And maybe if I was going to have a fair comparison, I'd get the rocket stove out here and then try to do ignition on that and see what I've got in terms of smoke. But this is very, very different. As the billows of smoke come out, very different from the previous attempts with the rocket stove. I read the instruction manual, and I knew that it was going to take a while for the wood gas stove to heat up. It's going to take a while for the temperatures in the wall of between the two walls to get to a point where they can actually burn the wood gas. But I'm 8 or 10 minutes into ignition, and I would have liked to have started cooking by now. So I'm getting a little impatient with the state of things as they are. Well, interestingly enough, I'd say 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds has gone by since I last stopped video taping, and the smoke has petered off quite considerably. There's far less smoke than there was, and a few moments ago I had actual flame I was seeing. So with this much smoke, you got to expect there's got to be flame somewhere. But there we go. I don't know if you caught that in video, but I'm pretty sure I saw a flame lick up. I was hoping to catch a little bit of flame on video. Maybe it was a trick of the eye as I moved my eye from the wood gas stove to the camera. It looked like a little bit of light lit up or something. But I did have flame a little while ago. Certainly the wood it's almost like it's baking. The wood has turned a different color. It's slightly browner, kind of like how bread turns into toast. And I'm sure this is part of the wood gas effect, which is this particular device is trying to create. So I'm going to stop the video here, and we'll wait to get cooking. Okay, I haven't been timing this, and I really should have, given the performance I've seen so far. But I think I'm 20 minutes into the warm-up period for this wood gasifier, and it's finally beginning to gasify. Now, a minute ago, it was making a really nice rocket noise, like, kind of thing. And that was pretty cool. I put some new fuel in it, and immediately the heat died back. So I really think what I've been part of the 20-minute warm-up period that I've experienced might have been my trying to stoke this fire by putting more fuel, and it seems just like the rocket stove, putting new cold fuel into the combustion chamber lowers the temperature pretty significantly, and since you need a certain temperature to get to the point where you're, where the machine is really active, it does slow down the reaction. So maybe the reason why it took 20 minutes to get to anywhere near a cook temp is because I was kept trying to put more fuel in it, trying to get, get this sucker going. Let's move, let's go. But as you can see, we do have open flame now, and I'm gonna get cooking. Okay, so I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I don't have a cameraman here, so I can't really videotape and throw stuff on at the same time. So you're not seeing the initial reactions of things, but this is pretty good. I mean, the cast iron didn't sit alone by itself on the burner for as long as it did on the the rocket stove. Certainly, this wood gas gasifier is not as stable a platform for the Dutch oven as the rocket stove was, which the feet of the rocket stove, the feet of the Dutch oven set nicely on top of the rocket stove, providing plenty of clearance. But what I am noticing immediately is that this wood gasifier is putting out more energy than the rocket stove did, even though it took like almost 3 times the warm-up time that the rocket stove needed. But yeah, certainly as soon as the ground beef hit the cast iron, it was really nice because the rocket stove had heated up the cast iron fairly well, but immediately it began cooling down. With a wood gasifier, I haven't stopped getting any kind of sizzle noise. So we never really went below boiling, even though this meat, again, is right from the refrigerator. And I did that mostly because I wanted to kind of recreate the experiment as fairly as possible, without doing them side by side. So I'm going to cook this up, and this is the wood gasifier. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another video or not to show you what the results of this, but this is basically what I ended up with. Again, so far, I'm seeing that the warm-up times take a little bit too much for the impatient person that I am to justify it. I mean, I know the fan will run for like 36 hours on just 2 AA batteries. And it has a high and a low setting. Here's the little battery pack and where it goes into the fan. But maybe I've definitely got to try this during drier conditions and see if it might, go a little faster. I was hoping this could be a backpacking solution or a lightweight camping solution for me, but so far I'm liking the rocket stove a little bit better. We'll see how it goes.